2023 has overall been a great year for media that wasn't made by Disney, with very few exceptions. Metroid fans continue to eat good with Prime Remastered, Loki is the best series that Marvel has made for Disney+, and animated movies, not made by Disney, have had some of the most beautiful animation and highest quality storytelling we've seen in a few years, from the likes of Mutant Mayhem, Nimona, and of course Across the Spider-Verse. We had some fantastic games that I couldn't play because I don't have a PS5, so I played Metroid Prime Remastered 5 times and have already sunk over 100 hours into Tears of the Kingdom, which were both fantastic games on their own anyway. But we're not here to talk about 2023, because 2024 is on the way and definitely here by the time this video finally gets uploaded, but that's okay. I was originally going to do this idea as several different videos about different media things I'm looking forward to next year, but I couldn't really narrow it all down, and I figured it'd be easier and for the better for me to do all of these ideas as one video. So here are the projects that I am most looking forward to in 2024. I love Godzilla. I've loved Godzilla ever since I was 5 because I was 5 and it's a giant fire-breathing dinosaur. That is something that you just legally have to find awesome at that age, and like most people, I never grew out of it. Unfortunately, at the time of me recording this, I still haven't seen -1 because I don't have a nearby theater playing it, but I plan on watching it the second the opportunity arises. In the meantime, though, Godzilla and Kong: The New Empire is on the horizon, and this film looks like it's following in the footsteps of its predecessor by focusing more on being a fun, action-packed monster movie than a human drama with monsters in it. Godzilla vs. Kong was a very flawed movie, but it knew exactly what kind of movie it was, and it looks like New Empire is following in its footsteps. If I was still an angry 15-year-old fanboy, I'm sure I would have taken issue with Godzilla covered in pink crystal, but I'm in my 20s now and I'm allowed to like fun things, and god damn it, pink Godzilla is fucking cool! As much as I would have loved to have another Toho monster serve as the film's main antagonist, I completely understand why they didn't do that for this film. Godzilla vs. Kong was very much Kong's movie, where Godzilla was the primary threat for the majority of the film until the ending. And this film is following up Kong's story, so giving him a new antagonist tied much closer to his own race makes a lot more sense, and Godzilla's just there for the fun. It's Godzilla and Kong. I am not expecting a 10 out of 10 Oscar-worthy movie here, but I am anticipating a good time, and that is all I'm asking for. The MonsterVerse has yet to deliver a film that I haven't enjoyed, and I doubt that this is going to be the film that breaks the streak. A movie I am much more worried about is Kung Fu Panda 4. I am really only throwing this movie in here so I can talk about it because I don't expect to talk about it again before it comes out. I love the Kung Fu Panda trilogy. It is one of DreamWorks' best franchises alongside How to Train Your Dragon and 3 out of the 4 Shrek films, which is why I'm worried. This trailer is bad. It's just bad. It is not doing a good job at making this movie look good. I am hoping that it is only the trailer, putting what they think are the funniest scenes from the film in it, because this trailer is genuinely hard to sit through with these terrible jokes. My hopes are that Jack Black wouldn't want to voice this character if he didn't like the story, or that someone on the writers' team is doing their damnedest to make this movie just as good as the original trilogy. Time will tell if the movie turns out well or not. I really hope it does, but we'll have to wait and see, and hopefully we'll get a second trailer soon that does a lot more to raise my hopes. The last film I'm apprehensive about but excited for on this list is Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I really love the Planet of the Apes prequel trilogy. I saw War in theaters when it came out, and it became one of my favorite revenge stories ever, and I also realized that day that I needed glasses because I couldn't fucking see anything. I saw the first 2 when I was younger, so a lot of it went right over my head, but upon rewatch of the whole trilogy, god damn, these movies are fucking fantastic. As soon as Disney bought Fox and almost immediately announced a new Apes movie, I was very concerned. The ending of War brings a beautiful finality to the story that those films were telling, so I am very glad that this film is taking a massive time jump to separate this story from the original, even if the legacy and name of Caesar is still a plot point according to the producers. This trailer, unlike Kung Fu Panda 4, did a lot to relieve the tension I had about the film's announcement. It's no secret that Disney has been pretty 50-50 on their VFX in years, but it is looking like Fox gave these artists the time to really make this film look gorgeous. I don't have a lot to say beyond my hopes that this film turns out as good as it looks, because this is a series that I don't want to see burn and die like so many other legacy series that have been brought back in recent years. These last 2 films are probably my most anticipated movies of 2024, and I have no reason to think that they'll turn out bad, but neither of them have trailers yet, and one of them literally has a single official image that's been released because of production starting. So I will make these 2 as brief as I can. Deadpool and Sonic the Hedgehog 3 are definitely my most anticipated films of the year. I will not delve into the set photos that we have seen from Deadpool 3 in case you want absolutely nothing spoiled for the movie aside from what's been confirmed, but Deadpool 3 is looking like it's gonna be one of the biggest game changers in the MCU, and almost definitely the most meta film in the Deadpool trilogy so far. Hugh Jackman coming back as Wolverine is always gonna be exciting, no matter how many times it happens, but I'm glad that Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman have stated that they are not touching Logan, because that movie is still a masterpiece, and that basically confirms this new Wolverine is a variant, meaning they can take this character in any direction they want, whether they bring him back again for Secret Wars or not. Despite all the leaks, though, we still know very little about the actual plot of this film and where it's going, and that is so exciting, and we cannot wait to get our hands on this movie. And of course, Sonic 3 is going to have Shadow in it, so legally it can't be a bad movie. Honestly, though, I enjoyed the first Sonic movie for what it was, but what I wanted in a sequel was more of the games to make it in the film without it feeling forced or being too fan-servicey with no substance. And while opinions on the sequel seemed pretty mixed when it came out, I loved it. Sonic 2 was exactly what I wanted. Tails may not have been as fleshed out as the other two Mobians. Yes, I am calling them Mobians. But this movie wouldn't be better off without him here, and Knuckles is probably the best character in the entire movie. They managed to make him antagonistic without making him unlikable, and they made him naive without making him stupid. The way they perfected his character in the second film is what gives me hope that they'll nail Shadow in the third, because Shadow is the most complex character in the franchise. Like, the only other character that comes remotely close is Blaze, and Blaze didn't watch one of the only people in her life she trusted literally shot and killed. How much they changed Shadow's backstory is to be seen, but if the writers are trying to make a mostly loyal adaptation of his story from Sonic Adventure 2, then this is easily going to be the darkest movie in the trilogy. And of course, I have my hopes that we'll get Jim Carrey as Robotnik again, and I'd love to see Rouge, Amy, or Gerald Robotnik if they can introduce one of or all of these characters without making the story feel bloated. I think it's pretty certain that we'll see Gerald, considering the mid-credit scene from Sonic 2 says that Gunn found Project Shadow while scrubbing Robotnik's name from their files. I have faith this film can pull off whatever story they're trying to tell, and as much as I'd love to see more characters from the games, if they can't balance all the characters from the games, Shadow's story and character arc, and whatever they want to do with the human characters, then I do sincerely hope that they put the story first. Quick cut in before we move on to the next segment of the video. But me from the future here, just jumping in to say I'm also very excited for Markiplier's Iron Lung movie, and I just remembered this while I was already in the middle of editing the video. I completely forgot that this was coming out this year, because it was I think it was supposed to come out in 2023, but like the strikes and all that like delayed it and stuff. But like hoping that it comes out in 2024, hoping that I'll get to see it in theaters, because I'm very excited for this. I'm not doing a section on TV shows because I know jack shit about what TV shows are coming out or getting a new season, so I'll use this moment to say that I am overjoyed that Has-Been is finally here, just a few weeks away from the time of me recording this, and I will be watching every single episode as it comes out. And I will also be eagerly awaiting new Hell of a Boss episodes throughout the year, because that series has just been on a fucking roll lately. This section is going to be a lot shorter because I really only have 2 games I'm going to actually be able to play next year, and one of them I have very little to say about. Hades 2 looks awesome. I haven't beaten it yet, but Hades is one of the most addicting games I have played in the last 2 years. Every death gives me more motivation to get further in my next run, but between every run I have fun checking in with all the characters at the start and giving gifts from my last run to the ones I've grown attached to. So I expect Hades 2 to be more of the first, with new elements throughout to change things up a bit, without making it hard for newcomers to jump in without playing the first, and of course the story looks like it'll be just as engaging, if not more so than the first. But unquestionably, the game I am most excited for this year is a game that I replayed this year, after I was satisfied with my 100% save file for Metroid Prime Remastered. Metroid Prime is my second favorite game on the GameCube, so I decided to go back and play my favorite. But to my surprise, when I was halfway through my replay of this game, Nintendo did the unexpected and announced that my favorite GameCube game was getting the same treatment, even more so, than Metroid Prime did. Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door is my favorite Mario game of all time. I haven't gotten around to playing it yet, okay? I know, I have no excuse, and I won't make one. But of all the games in the franchise I have played, this is the one that I come back to the most. I have hundreds of hours in this game, at least 8 playthroughs with varying levels of completion. My original save file my brother and I made that we vowed to never delete is still on our original memory card. The only other game on my GameCube that's come close to that level of playtime that I've put into TTYD is The Simpsons Hit and Run.
When's that getting a remake, Activision?
The reveal of this game getting a remake has taken me aback more than any other game announced for the Switch. And I was there live for the reveals of Tears of the Kingdom, Metroid Prime 4 and Prime Remastered, Smash Bros. Ultimate, and Metroid Dread. Granted, at the time of Metroid Dread's announcement, I didn't realize the weight that had, and Prime 4 and Remastered were rumors for years before they got announced, and Tears of the Kingdom was 100% gonna happen. But Thousand Year Door? Getting a remake? Miyamoto seems to hate Mario getting to do anything interesting that strays too far away from what he wants, so I didn't think we would ever see this game again. As soon as I saw that book, I screamed before assuming that it had to be the N64 game, because no way they would remake TTYD, but they did, and it's on its way, and I couldn't be happier. Now, this section's gonna be a little different. From here on out, it is pure 100% speculation and wishful thinking. These are projects that I either hope come out next year, or we get an update on them and we know when they are coming out. I'm pretty sure this one is at least getting a release date finally, and that's Metroid Prime 4. This one I hope we at least get a release date, because I don't see it coming out this year, but can we please see Metroid Prime 4? The last we heard about this game, it was being handed off to Retro Studios to restart development, and with all the rumors about the next Nintendo console being announced in 2024, I am almost certain Prime 4 is going to be getting some kind of launch with the new console. Whether it's an exclusive or a cross-generation release like Breath of the Wild or Twilight Princess before it, I'm sure that we'll be getting a new trailer at the very least in 2024. It could drop a week from now, for all we know. I doubt it, but I'm expecting a trailer and probably a release date alongside or accompanying Nintendo's next console. The next one is a project I am less excited for and more intrigued by, but what the fuck is happening with the Minecraft movie? It finally has a release date in April of 2025, which is a long way off, but aside from the cast, basically everything about this movie is still a mystery. I cannot specify enough. I've been reading from a script this whole time, but on the day I start recording this, they announced that Jack Black was gonna be in the movie, and everybody is assuming that he's gonna be Steve, but like, I wrote this like a few days ago, I'm only recording it now, like, you could ask me this question a week ago, you could ask me this question a year ago, I never once would have told you that I thought Jack Black was gonna be in this movie, let alone Steve. The plot for this film has allegedly changed several times throughout the years, but it's actually going to start filming next year, so hopefully we'll get something, and more hopefully end the year off with a trailer, maybe even an official trailer, during next year's Minecraft Live. If the movie is set to film in spring, and filming only takes a few months, hopefully that'll give the crew enough time to throw together a trailer to come at the end of fall to show us during their annual Minecraft live stream. I'll try to keep this one brief because I'm extremely excited for this movie, but it's just stuck in limbo right now, but I hope we get good news about Beyond the Spider-Verse. And when I say good news, I mean, I want to know the movie is still getting made, but I also want to know that these animators are getting the treatment they deserve and the pay that they have earned. Across the Spider-Verse was amazingly written and a triumph in animation history. Just look at this movie. But if the outcome of a project like this is burnout and bitterness, then your next project is immediately in trouble. I really want Beyond the Spider-Verse to come out sooner than later, but if waiting a few more years means that these artists are getting fair pay and good working conditions, then I'm more than willing to wait, because this trilogy is shaping to be the best in animation history, and we don't want the shadow of poor working conditions and abuse towards the film's animators to hang over its legacy. Be good to your employees, treat other human beings as human beings and not cattle that has to be put down when they stop working to their fullest. There's a reason Invincible 2 was split in half, so the animators could have a break, and it's a break that they deserve. Other series have done the same, and we need to have more examples in these industries to give animators and VFX artists the working conditions they deserve, or the artists and media that we love will only continue to deteriorate. But the project I want to see most next year should be pretty obvious if you watched my One Last Scene video I uploaded last week. I have played Deltarune Chapter 2 4 separate times now, and I still have not gotten enough of this game. Chapters 3 and 4 are set to release at the same time, assumingly next year, considering Toby said in his last Undertale Deltarune newsletter that Chapter 3 was almost perfectly playable around Halloween, and focus was shifting to finishing Chapter 4, so I'm almost certain that they will release next year, but I'm putting it here because I'm impatient and I love the shit out of this game. I don't care that Chapters 3 and 4 are gonna cost money, I'll fucking buy them! Chapters 1 and 2 gave us amazing experiences for the low price of $0, but they were always labeled as being demos to the full game, and the chapter list we got in Chapter 2 says we're at least getting 7, so Deltarune is definitely gonna be way bigger than Undertale is by the time it's finally finished, so I'll fucking pay for it! I am so impatient that I finally gave in and installed Undertale Yellow and Delta Traveler when I was done with the Flowey video, just because I just want more. Tell me if you'd like to see me play those fan games, or make videos about them, by the way. I know nothing about them, so no spoilers, please. I'm gonna go in blind. But Deltarune is undoubtedly the game that I am most excited to see finally finished over the next few years. Thousand Year Door is my most anticipated game for 2024, only because it's at least finished. But I know how that game ends. I've played it 8 fucking times! I don't know what Toby's gonna do with the future of Deltarune, only that the characters are getting adorable cowboy outfits, and that's because we got the privilege of seeing those sprites before the game came out. I said it in my last video, but Toby and his team are cooking, and I am ready. I am already rambling, so I'm going to cut myself off before I go on more, but I cannot express my excitement for this game, for this franchise, for these characters. I love this game, and I am not so patiently waiting to see what's to come next. And that's about everything. I don't have anything else written here on the script. I just cut it off, I guess, without finishing it. I'm in the middle of the recording process, so I'm just gonna ad-lib this next part, but for those of you that are here after coming from the One Last Scene video, I want to give a massive thank you to all of you that have been giving me a crap load of support, giving me, you know, a bunch of new subscriptions and a bunch of likes and all of your lovely comments on the video. It's been awesome. I cannot thank you guys enough. I have other stuff I'm working on. I won't go into specifics, but I do have 2 more videos I'm currently working on. One of them is basically fully written. The other, I have to actually do the research properly to start actually writing the video. But I have 2 more videos coming out about Netflix films that I have a mixed relationship with the both of them. One of them I like, one of them I really don't, but they're both based on other things that I have a guilty pleasure of watching/reading, so I'll be giving my thoughts on the both of them in my upcoming videos. I don't know when those will be coming out, I'm not gonna make promises, but I barely uploaded any full videos last year. I don't think I even did I? I probably didn't even upload any full-length videos last year, if I'm remembering correctly, but I'm gonna focus a lot more on being productive this year because I've gotten a lot of new subscribers from that Undertale video, and I really want to make you guys stick around, and I want to grow as a channel, maybe become a YouTube partner. My New Year's resolution was going to be hit 100 subs, and then I hit that earlier today, as I'm recording this. I was at 95 this morning, I checked again later on, and then I got, like, a guy who commented saying, like, hey, I'm your 100th subscriber, which is, like, that's awesome. You guys are awesome. We're gonna see how much we can grow this year. If you stick around, then I hope I can make something else you'll watch. I hope you like hearing a guy in his 20s ramble about Netflix things based on things that are made for elementary to middle schoolers, but I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna be doing more stuff. We're looking for a good year, so thank you guys so much for the support that you've given me over the last week, and I hope that I can continue to make quality content.